Hey everybody, there's not a single person among my subscribers who has not tried a Bounty Bar at least once in his life. Today, we will prepare a Bounty Bar of a simply incredible size. Let's see what the original bar consists of. Outside we see milk chocolate, and inside coconut filling. We go to the store for all the groceries we need. The first thing you need to take is a lot of chocolate. We have 150 chocolate bars in the cart. Coconut shavings. You need a lot. 20 kilograms. 9 kilograms of sugar. Citric acid. Coconut oil. Basically, that's it. Now we can head to the checkout. The check came out to $390. Let's start with the fact that we have a big sheet of wood. Using a ruler and a pencil, we draw everything. By hand, we round the corners. We have drawn the bounty form. Now we just need to cut it out with an electric jigsaw. Done. Now we take the plastic wrap and wrap it. We take 3 boxes of milk chocolates and a bowl. We crush the chocolate bars on the table, open them, and shake out the already broken pieces of chocolate into the bowl. We continue until the bowl is filled. Done. We put water in a saucepan and put that on the stove. Then the bowl of chocolate on top. Now we melt everything in a steam bath, stirring occasionally. Chocolate is porous, so when it melts, it greatly decreases in volume. We add more. We put the melted chocolate on a board, we put the mold on the table, and we pour in the chocolate in portions. And smear it around. All until we cover the entire surface of the mold. Now we take a huge saucepan and all the coconut shavings that we bought. We open each pack and pour it into the bowl. Done! There's almost 20 kilograms of coconut shavings in the saucepan. Now you need 4 kilograms of coconut oil. We open the jars and put them in there as well. Done. But now we need sugar and citric acid. We'll cook the syrup in 2 pots. We open a pack of sugar, measure 300 grams on the kitchen scale, and pour that into a pan. And in the second 300 grams, water is also needed. Measure 130 milliliters and pour it into the sugar. Now turn the stove on high and just wait until the syrup is cooked. Be sure to use a thermometer. As soon as the temperature has reached 107 degrees, we rearrange the pots, add a little citric acid, and mix. We take a 3-liter jar and pour our syrup into it. Between each new batch of syrup, we wash the pan from the previous batch. Again, we measure everything and cook. And keep repeating this. Only 1 jar is filled. This isn't enough. After another 4 hours, we cooked 8 liters of syrup. Now we just need to pour the syrup into the saucepan and mix. But then I realized that there would be very little filling. So we bought another 50 kilograms of coconut shavings, 10 liters of coconut oil, and 20 liters of glucose syrup from the store. All this cost $315. By the way, playing with the syrup in the bag is a great stress reliever. It is the fucking best. Pour 1 jar of the syrup into a saucepan. We open the glucose syrup and fill the jar with it to understand how much we will add. Pour the first 3 liters. Then another 1.5. Now you need to mix all this with your hands so that all the coconut shavings are soaked with syrup and oil. The mass is heavy and thick, so it's hard to mix. But after 20 minutes, I mixed it all the way through. Our chocolate has been frozen for a long time. We take the coconut filling out and dump it into the mold. Evenly distribute the mass with your hands. And pack it in. We open the bag of coconut shavings. Pour most of it into a saucepan. This time we make a small crater in the coconut shavings. And that's where we pour into our syrup. And then the glucose syrup. We open the canister with coconut oil and pour out 4 liters. This oil is liquidy because it was in hot water. Again, we knead it all together, this time with 4 hands. Then we pour out the contents of the pan. And spread it around. Now we just need to make the final 3rd batch. And put it into the mold as well. It will have to be leveled more carefully so that the shape of the bar looks like a bounty. At first we did it all with our hands, and then we carefully patted it with a board. Done after 2 hours of hard work on the molding. We got what we needed. We take all the remaining chocolates, crush them on the table, open them up, and throw them back into the bowl. And into a steam bath. When all the chocolate has become liquid, pour it over the bar and smear it around with a spatula. Then pour out the second bowl of chocolate. Cover up all the gaps. And finally, the third bowl. I ran out of all the chocolate that I bought. I had to go to the store again and buy a lot more chocolate bars. This cost us $192. The chocolate that flowed down the sides of the bar, we collected from the bottom back into the bowl. We'll just melt it down again. That's how many chocolates we have to crush. To speed up the process, we'll use 2 bowls. Done. We send them to the steam bath. We wait until it melts, and we break more. And we're left with 2 full bowls of hot chocolate. But that's not all. We take the oil, and we add a lot of it to each bowl. Thanks to the oil, the chocolate will become more liquidy. We mix everything well, and pour it into the bar mold. Just look at how beautifully the chocolate fits. Pour out the second bowl of chocolate. And distribute it. Even more chocolate now. We tried to make little curlies on top, like on a Bounty bar, but it didn't work out well enough to make them beautiful, so we poured the final bowl of chocolate on top to smooth out all the irregularities. After 3 days of work until 2 in the morning, our huge Bounty bar is finally ready. After counting all the things that we used, it turned out that this mega monster weighs 134 kilograms, and there are 643,000 calories in this bar. That's a lot. Let's finally cut it. The chocolate layer is carefully cut with a hacksaw, and for the filling, I bought a hefty machete. We cut through the bar. The whole filling in the bar is uniform, as is in the original. Taking into account all additional purchases, our Bounty bar costs $903. Let's cut off a small piece and try our huge bounty. You know, it doesn't taste like what it looks like. It just tastes like a bounty. Hi everybody, I think that many of you have tried this kind of Kinder Bueno bar. Let's open it up. We're gonna make the exact same one, just in a big size. But first you need to try it. On the outside we have chocolate, then a waffle layer with nut paste, and then the cream itself, which is also pretty nutty. The first thing we need is a big, huge mold. Our dad's gonna make it for us from this huge pipe. Using a tape measure, we measure out to a meter of 20, and mark it with a marker. From the side, we drill a hole with a screwdriver, and then cut the pipe with a jigsaw. Now we're going to draw along and cut the pipe into exactly 2 parts. Now we will make a stand out of wood. To do this, we cut a large board into 2 parts. Circle the outer diameter of the pipe and cut it with the jigsaw. With sandpaper, we knock down all of the burrs. 2 such details are needed. We need a wide board to put between them and tighten everything with screws. Two large semicircles were also carved out of wood, and 3 smaller ones, but at the same time they were twice as wide. We put half of the pipe on the stand, lubricate a large semicircle with glue, and put it into the pipe. Additionally, we fix them with screws. We put the missing parts in, and our form is ready. But in order to be used, we take some small half circles and wrap them with some cling film. Done. Then we lubricate our mold with some oil. We're going to smear it along the walls. And then glue down some parchment paper. Then we put everything back in its place. Let's start our cooking with the nuts. There are 20 kilograms of them here. We transfer them into a meat grinder. And grind them through a small nozzle. Now we'll need a mélange, sugar, and cocoa. We collect 1 kilogram of crushed nuts, then turn on the mélange and pour them in. By the way, at first while the mass is dry, it can stop. Therefore, we'll help it out. Then add in some sugar and cocoa powder. After about 40 minutes, we'll get a chocolate nut paste. Let's tilt our mélange and put all of the paste into a pan. Thus, we turn 10 kilograms of nuts into the paste. Done. Now let's make our dough for the waffles. We break 48 eggs into a big gastro pan. Add 3 kilograms of sugar. For taste, we'll use some vanilla sugar. And then we go to the butter. Cut off 1.5 kilograms and put it into a saucepan. Also add 1 kilogram of margarine. Let's put all this onto the stove. Melt and pour into our big catering pan. Let's whisk our mix until it's smooth. Now we just need to pour in 3 kilograms of flour. And then finally knead the dough. Done. We scoop it up with a spoon and put it into our waffle iron. We close them. And after 3 minutes, they're ready. You can get them out. And then we open up our nut paste and spread a thick layer onto the waffle. Then we glue it inside of the mold. We worked with like a conveyor belt really, and while one was making waffles, 4 waffle irons at once, the second was putting them into a mold until it was completely filled. Now let's go to the cream. We open up some bottled chicken eggs and pour them into a bowl. There are 20 eggs in each bottle, and so we have 10 of them in total. in 3 kilograms of flour and mix it all with a mixer until smooth. And then we made this thicker, and we will cook the cream in such a huge saucepan. We take a lot of milk out of the refrigerator. Open them up and pour them into a large saucepan. Then we put this under the burner, cover with the lid, and turn on the gas. As soon as the milk is heated, we add in 12 kilograms of sugar to it. And mix it all with a construction mixer. Without stopping stirring, pour in the thickener into a thin stream. You also need to melt 3 kilograms of butter. Pour this into the cream. And here are the remaining crushed nuts. Mix them into our cream. You gotta do this until it's smooth. It's already thickened up, so we pour it into our mold. We spread out the waffles with the remaining nut paste and put it on top of the cream. That's it, we send our mold into the freezer. Two days later, everything's hardened up. Therefore, we move on to the next step. We're gonna open up some milk chocolate and send it into a Marmite. Turn it on so that it starts to heat up, and stirring constantly, melt that chocolate. Now it's liquid, but to make it even better on the bar, you need to add some oil. And mix. It's much more liquidy now. Now it's time to get the mold out of the freezer. We transfer the liquid chocolate onto the waffles and smear it around. We keep doing this until we cover the entire surface with chocolate. Now let's put some more chocolate in the Marmite. We put a sheet of chipboard on top of the bar and press it as hard as possible with stretch film. First, we lower the form to the floor. And then we already turn it over into this little thing covered with film. Now the stretch film can be removed. Carefully lift up the mold. And tear off the parchment. And open up the film around that wooden semicircle. We screw a self-tapping screw into it and take it out. And then we remove the film itself. The extra milk chocolate pellets have already been melted. Therefore, we scoop milk chocolate with a measuring cup and just pour it all over our bar. We do one more layer. And then just let the chocolate harden. Now we just need to repeat only these thin strips of dark chocolate. Therefore, put a bowl on a steam bath, put some dark chocolate into it. And constantly stirring, melt it. Our already liquid chocolate is poured into a pastry bag. And we pour this over the bar. That's it, our giant Kinder Bueno is finally ready. I think it turned out just perfect, you guys. Well, let's cut off a piece.